Hello, this is Dave and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the one and only Wolf, and this is just a general share advice and not personal advice. But I must say, I gave Wolf a little bit of a tester this morning, and I've got this little beautiful photo of this beautiful city behind it in Poland, and he didn't even know where it was.
Well, at least I got Poland right.
Yeah, at least you got Poland right, but it is a beautiful little city. And Wolf, I'm surprised it's Gdansk.
Yeah.
Now, I always thought Gdansk would be a really ugly port, but it's not, is it? It's a very pretty little
beautiful area because it's actually part of a tri-city called Gdańsk, Sopot, and Gdynia, right? So there's three cities right, really close to each other. Like England's got that sort of feel as well. Some of the cities are almost joined together, and it's on the coast, and you can find amber on the coast. I went there last year when I went to Poland. So I went to that area and. Beautiful, actually. It's actually quite nice for a visit. So off you go if you want to have a look at a nice city.
And I think it was originally founded or started built by the Teutonic Knights?
Teutonic Knights, correct. And there's a lot of Teutonic castles around that area. One of the biggest ones I think in Europe called Malbork, and I've been there too. So it's beautiful.
All right, Wolf. Very proud of his heritage, and thanks for that, Wolf. We will be testing you every day on Polish sites, but you got that one wrong. But we'll see how you do tomorrow.
Okay.
I just like humiliating you.
Well, that goes without saying.
All right, Wolf. It's because you're so bloody good at share trading. I've got to make you look. I've got to make you look normal. Right. We got some announcements that came out today.
Yep.
Talk us through it, Wolf. We got MXI. Yeah. I mean, it's holding up the little chart. I'd like to see it do a little bit more if I was going to trend it.
I'll tell you why I'm interested in this story, right? And obviously, the share price, remember, the chart is not fantastic, but it's above trend. So at least it's got some interest to me. And the story itself, it's in a similar space to SNL. And we know SNL is going very, very well, right? So it's something I'm going to keeping on the side because I want to see what the competitors are doing, whether this may be tradable at some stage. And today they announced a little acquisition out in WA. So I'm keeping a close eye on this, Dave, because it could have a little run. So it's something that potentially we could trade one day. And like I said, I got to follow this space because of SNL.
Well, actually, if you're looking at the chart, I've sort of blown it up a little bit, Wolf. So it's sort of broken above resistance. I think you'd want to see it like this by the end of the week, but certainly I don't see why you wouldn't you wouldn't put this on Einstein's at the end of the week if it looked like this.
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's actually a decent space at the moment. We know that LAU, in SNL, all those stories in that auto space are doing very well. So you think to yourself, it's not bad. And you look at the P of this. I'm looking at the financials, right? So 18 times, which is not too bad. Dividend yield of about 3.6 fully grossed up. So overall, there's makings of a company that potentially you could, like I said, trade or even own. All
right, let's have a look at Qantas because a new CEO. Who got the role, Wolf?
Actually, the CFO of the company. I can't remember the name. What was her name? It was a lady by the name of, I think, Vanessa Ward. I can't remember. But anyway, the good thing is internal appointment, and she's been in the company for about 20 years, and she's done also the role. So I think a very safe and good appointment. So that's a positive for Qantas. She will know the ins and outs, and hopefully she can steer it in the right direction.
Or at least keep it on path because it's obviously heading the right direction. I think the last CEO has done a good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, oh, look, he's been under fire so many times. So he's obviously got a very thick skin. Hopefully she does too.
Woolworths. I mean, they've had a good run of late. Today's announcement.
It should hold. It should hold the resistance. The trends there, Dave. So because of the numbers, which are in the high single digits of growth. So for a company like Woolworths, which is obviously mature, it's a big business. High single digits is pretty good in this space. So I think that's definitely a hold if you're holding this for dividends.
Yeah, I think normally they're low, aren't they? About 3 or 4%
yeah,
growth.
Exactly. So anything in a high single digits is actually very good for them.
Excellent. So that will help, bring their sort of P down a little bit. And Westfarmers, how's our old favorite doing?
Yeah, look, it's interesting read today with the presentation, pretty much saying that they are looking at growth, but through acquisitions. So that's their strategy for the next probably months and years ahead. They've made a play for silk lasers, right? We've seen that. They've bought API, so I think healthcare is definitely one of the focuses for them. But don't expect them sitting on their hands. They'll probably do look at more companies outside of what they've been doing. So it's strategy could pay off, but you've got to also watch it so they don't make stupid acquisitions either.
And Medibank Private, which actually having a little bit of a rough week this week, Wolf. There's been a lot of noise. I'd be if I was trading this, I'd be getting out. What about the announcement though?
I'll tell you what, I think I understand now what's happened here. So I know we obviously had that cybersecurity breach, right? Which is pretty bad. To me, it's just uninvestable because of that. But buy on rumor, sell on fact, pretty much what's happening here. So the rumor was that they're going to come up with a pretty good update, and they have. It's actually quite strong. They're talking about the fourth quarter that it's actually very, very strong for them coming up. So on that premise, bit of profit taking, but
you think a bit of a leaky ship?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely a bit of a leaky ship because the actual quarterly update was very, very good.
So I'm glad you said that. So you think if we get a really good chart on this, it's most probably going to be worth trading?
Yeah, I'd say so. So you might as well forget about the breach because obviously Australians don't give up rats. So it's more about, can I make money on this company? I think that's what Australia's more interested in.
All right, Wolf. We spoke earlier about stocks that have delivered upgrades, and I'm sort of fascinated with this because you're trending fundamentals, right? So you're looking for stories that are really hitting their straps and growing and coming up with really good, strong updates. We've got a list here. Now, disclaimer, because you've got a lot of these I know you're holding in the fund.
Yep. Not all of them, but some of them.
Some of them. So maybe can we go through them one by one, and we'll have a look at the chart, and we'll start with ABB, which again, I mean, I think is interesting. And if you're in that, you definitely hold it. I mean, I think you buy it if you had a good candle by the end of the week or you had a bit of a breakout. Talk us through them. Okay,
so let me just set up the scene here. So obviously we are looking to devise some sort of a strategy on upgrades, right? Because you probably see the stories that we're going to put on, they've got some pretty good charts, most of them anyway, right? Not all of them are created equal, of course. So you got to understand where the upgrade is coming from, what the business is like, what sector they're in. So we're going to look at all of them and see whether they make sense. Now, in this case, ABB's case, I don't mind the industry, which is the telco space. What is interesting here is that the actual upgrade was on the EBITDA line, but there was a downgrade on the revenue side, right? So, which one do you obviously look at? And I think the market's obviously looking more interested in EBITDA side. So it's a little bit maybe just need to wait for another update from them whether it's strong. And if it's strong enough, then maybe we can go for it. But we want to pick them up early. We want to pick them up on the first or the second upgrade, not on the fifth or the sixth upgrade, because maybe by then it's just too late, right? So I don't mind this one, but I'd probably just need another sign.
Hello World, which I know, great looking chart, Wolf. Good little up. I mean, how many times have you seen these type of charts recently? Just go on with it. I think it looks very, very strong.
This upgrade was very, very strong. So it's in a portfolio. I think that's a genuine upgrade for sure.
When you look at the chart as well, and there's not much resistance really till even 450, you'd feel comfortable it would get to that 350 level, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and the thing is, this is only a second upgrade from February, so I think we're early on this.
We're just having a look at this one. We've obviously put it on as a recommendation, but I've just tried to look if we put it on officially. I can't remember. Bear with me, Wolf. Tell me something about your life just while I'm checking this.
No, I'm going to tell you nothing about my life, but I tell you what I can tell you about your life. I'm just kidding. Look, while you're doing that, interest rates, right? We've got online interest rates, cash rates, RBA to their decision. So we're looking at that. I think my feeling is they're going to leave it on hold. I think that's the consensus now, post what we've seen inflation-wise figures. So anything different, it's going to shock the market, right? So just be wary that the market's expecting rates on hold. But look, if they put on rates on hold, maybe there could be a bit of a market, a little rally, I think, because I think the market's a little bit nervous what's going to happen here today.
All right, Wolf, I think, if we're not in this, I think we should get in it. Yeah. And I think hello world, obviously the code is HLO. We want to buy this under, say, so I'll put 313. So, if it's 312, we're going to be trending it. It's only a trade. It is a large cap. The risk I'm going to put is medium. The target length is going to be 2 months, and we're going to do a stop loss on this. So I think we'll do that 269. Yeah. Please.
Can we stretch that 2 months to say August, which is the next reporting date? So we've got 4 months, please.
You've got it. And we're going to do a target price. Our first one is 350. Right. I know that doesn't look too far away, but then once we hit that 350, Wolf, we can then
ultimate is $4.
Yeah, I think we got a good, and then ultimately we're trying to get that $4. Yeah. But I think first of all, let's try and hit that 350.
That's what we agree. Absolutely, I agree.
So I mean, if looking at that, you got 313. First hit is 350. We can lift our stop loss when we get there. That's a 12%.
Yeah, that's very good.
And
I'll take that.
And they pay a nice dividend too, don't they?
Yeah, I think they've got to restart the dividend. I'm not sure they got it at the moment because I know they were coming off losses, right? Post COVID. But let's have a look. Have they got one? Have they got a yield? Yeah, they do. It says here they do have a 5.5% yield, which is interesting. But hey, if that's true, I'll take it.
I thought they did. Well, you bought the stock. Didn't you know that?
But I'm not interested in dividends. See, I'm more interested I love looking at the chart, and I love obviously that they come up with a nice upgrade. So for me, it's more about that.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's nice that
I'm not investing for the dividends for as a fund where it's a bonus, but it's more of I love the story that's going up on the upgrades.
And Wolfie, that dividend you're going to get is normally in September, so it's not too far away.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So look, there you go. There's an extra incentive, let's call it.
Okay. All right. AUB. Again, this is another one now. Maybe struggling a little bit to get over that. What's that? 28. But I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, very good looking chart, isn't it? And they've had a strong. They've had strong performance, haven't they, for a while now?
Yeah, they've had upgrades for about almost 12 months actually. So probably on this one, I would wait for maybe a better opportunity.
All right.
But it's still good. It's still got a positive outlook. So those upgrades still keep coming. I'm not saying it isn't, but we're already into that upgrade season for about 12 months. So we just got to time it a little bit better.
Yeah, look at them out here, Wolf. They did have a buy signal, right, of 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And they've had similar things where they've had a buy signal. They come back down to trend. They've just got. I mean, if I'm in it, I'm holding it, right? Let's have a look at DUR because these little guys have had an amazing run, and they had a buy signal like 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, I don't think we had people in the stock, but we didn't have a chance to get in it because they put the announcement out on Monday and it opened up at $1. But you know what? It's still looking very, very good, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, the problem is here. This is probably about the 5th or 6th upgrade already. So, chasing it up, it's difficult. So maybe this time around, you just got to wait for a bit of a pullback, and there will be a small one even. And then maybe you can get it. Or Dave, or maybe you like this at over $1 and maybe just put it underneath $1. It's up to you, but for me, the upgrade cycle's already been going strong for some time.
Well, I agree, and I think if you look at it, it's run a little bit hard from trend on the daily. I think this will come back, and there'll be a better time to buy it. And when that time will be, put it on your watch list. We'll put it on Einstein's. We'll tell you when the fundamentals and the charts align. SRG, Wolf. This again, look at that, solid as this little chart, isn't it?
And this has got upgrades. Probably about 6 odd months. But it's just been still flying under the radar because it's still so cheap, about 14 times, 13 times. So this one's the outstanding one for me that I'd be looking at, but I haven't seen an update from them recently, right? So I think the last one was back in February. So that's about 3 months old, right? So where are we? Where are we at the moment? Let's see what happens. But I do like this one, and the fund does own a little bit of this. So we'll see. This is more of, hopefully they're going to come up with a good update.
So, definitely with this, if you can buy some, well, I mean, listen, 72.70. I mean, it's the way it moves though, Wolf, it's not aggressive.
No.
So it's very much for someone getting into a good story that's patient.
Yep.
Right. That you can try and buy it around 72.70, target 90 over 12 months. That's the sort of trade, I think, or 6 months.
Agree.
MAD had again, a strong move, and went through the buy signal, sort of breakout. My only sort of little thing with MAD is that it had a similar little move before, and stocks tend to have their own character where they do move. And I'm just wondering if we get a little bit of that, because I think it has had a really good run, Wolf. It might run up to like 530, but then I could see it sort of coming back down.
The reward isn't there for me, Dave. Look, it's now a little bit more expensive, even though it had a really strong, and I called it that this is going to come up in the reporting season, which it did with a strong up. It had a run, so we've done it. But we just got to wait, like you said. I think we wait for that pullback and then we buy it again.
But well said, Wolfie, and it's important. But if you're long-term, Wolfie, it's not giving you any reason to get out, has it?
Definitely. I'm still holder.
And apologies, but we don't want to give members conflicting views on anything. What we're trying to do is give you a long-term view, and most money you'll make is holding a stock for the longer term, not shorter term.
Look at all these charts, Dave. Look at all these charts that are on upgrade. They're all going up.
Yeah,
we just got to have to buy them well.
Well, definitely, and they're not breaking trend. Look at another one on that list, which is XRF. This one looks like, if it looks like this by the end of the week, I think it looks like it. It's back down to at least 104, 105, right? And maybe there'll be a time in the cycle, sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, to buy this at a better price, Wolf.
I think you have to now, especially if you're buying for the long term, because it's trading on quite some substantial multiples now. Even though they keep coming up with really strong reports, they are going much faster than the actual reporting. So now the multiples expanded significantly. There's no value in this anymore. So I think if you're not in this, you got to wait for a better opportunity.
Now we've got SDF, which is again, a lot of people talking about this company, Wolf. Very strong. A lot of brokers really like it. It doesn't have big aggressive moves. It sort of comes back down to trend, and this almost probably revisit the trend lines at 567. So again, there most probably be a better time to buy this sometime in the next 2 months. But I mean, look at the chart. Yeah, the general chart have been superb.
Yep.
Of course, LAU, which funny enough, my brother, this one I put my brother in, he's very, very happy. And he was going to take a profit, but I had a little buy signal on the daily, so I said just stay in it for a while. But it's Wolf, I think I did give him a stop loss on it. I said if it goes on the daily below 130, say 129, to sell it, because it has had a massive run, right? So just keep listing that stop loss a little bit tighter. So maybe that's a good idea for everybody else.
Yeah.
JLG.
That's probably the standout for me, because it hasn't done anything, right? It's come up with upgrades after upgrades after upgrades with strong reporting. So for me, if I'm going to be looking to nibble on anything, this is probably the one that I'd be really. SRG and JLG is the one that I'd probably stand out to me, that haven't really had too much of a run yet. All
right, so we're going to put this on as a buy. Buy it under 665. It's a trade. It's a medium risk. I'm going to put it for 1 year. We're going to be patient with it. We're going to go a stop loss under around that 639. And we're going to target 750, Wolf.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
I think date uploaded to it's a buy. So it's a quality story, and that's the point, right? It's a quality story. Be patient with it. I'll have a look at that. If you're buying it around This one doesn't unfortunately pay much of a dividend, but if you buy around 639 and you're targeting 750, you know, it's a 17% return, which if you could do that in a year, you'd be well pleased, right? Again, a quality company, and you've got a stop loss, so not too far under that. So I think you've got a pretty decent risk reward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that one. I like these two trades that we put on, Wolfie. I think they're both large caps. They're solid companies in upgrades. I think they look very good. And again, BSL, which really, after really strong announcement, had a really funny week last week, but so far this week they're holding up and looking reasonably good.
Yeah, the only problem with BSL, while it's come up with an upgrade, you know, like I said to you, not all upgrades are created equal. So with this one, I'll be more skeptical because, you know, there's still prices are at the force here as well. So it's something out of the control. So, look, probably one that I maybe would go, okay, well, there's an upgrade story here, but maybe I've got better things to play with. So right now, if you're not in this, maybe just, you know, wait to see how that sort of transpires over the next couple of weeks.
And Wolf, property has held up surprisingly well, really, hasn't it?
Yep.
And you feel, because my gut feeling is, I think even if they don't put interest rates up this time, they are going to be going higher. And you know, most people, funny enough, I was talking to one of the guys in the bank yesterday, and the general chit chat, they think eventually it goes to 4.
Yeah.
Right. I think they need to slow the property market down a little bit. They need to slow the spending down. I don't think they've quite done enough, Wolfie. Right. So you know, maybe, you know, that could affect BSL. ACF, again, a very strong chart, Wolf. And what do you make of this one?
Yeah, look, obviously upgrade after upgrade after upgrade. So they've been going quite well for the last 6 to 12 months. You know, would I be looking at it possibly on the, you know, coming back to the trend? Because you can see on a daily looks okay, but maybe trying to get around, about 80 cents, I think is okay.
Yeah, listen, every time it's come back down to trend, this story's been a buy, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one again that you can definitely have a look at. You know, it's definitely much higher risk than the other two you put on, but you know, it's still tradable.
Definitely. I mean, don't look too much at that candle because it's halfway through the week, Wolf. Now Goodman Group, of course, Goodman Group.
So we're going to go some of the bigger ones, right? Goodman Group has been coming up with, even though, you know, the results are around the 10 to 12% growth for a company like, you know, the size of GMG, that's very good. And they keep coming up with slightly higher upgrades every single time. So for me, well, is that a buy signal? Is there?
Well, I have to apologize. I didn't put it on. I mean, I think I rushed through it, but maybe I think because I didn't like that. I don't know, but I mean that. Wolf,
you're speechless.
I'm sort of speechless because I'm thinking, how much did you have to drink on?
Exactly. Look, it doesn't matter. I don't think you missed the boat.
You definitely haven't missed the boat. And do you know what? I'm gonna make right here, and I'm gonna put this one as a trade. Okay. I think we can buy it under 19. There's plenty of volume in this story, Wolf. So we can take we can have a trade. It's medium risk. I think we can have a target length of do you want 3 or 4 months?
With 4 months. We got to now go towards the August reporting date. So we're going for 4 months.
You know, we've got a nice stop loss just under 18.95 go. I mean, it shouldn't go below that really. And we've got a nice little target price of let's go somewhere around there, maybe 20.45. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll just have a look. It's uploaded today. Just have a look where to buy. Just have a look at what that does for us. If we're buying it around 19.45 and we've got 20.45. It's a little 5% return if we hit it, get it, Wolf.
Yep.
Not bad, is it?
Oh, on a big company, that's decent.
All right, we're happy with that. So another little idea for trade that we put on. Macquarie.
Yep.
Again, holding up reasonably well. So for you're happy for a long-term nibble around here?
Yeah, and I think there's another article today saying the only bank in Australia that's actually gaining market share for the big boys. So it's just so many signs are pointing they're still doing well.
Yeah, look, I had a buy signal last week, so I'm sure we got a load of people in it. NXT. This is an absolutely superb chart.
Cracker.
Absolute cracker. Looking really, really good. So if you're in it, you're holding it, and I'm definitely going to be putting this on Einstein's if it looks like this on the weekend, Wolf. I think it's a good story, and I think fundamentally, would you be buying this now, or
look? Fundamentally, everything looks good. There's growth. The update was very, very strong. The second half is going to be much, much better. So they're saying all the right things. They're showing us all the right things. The only thing that gets me here is the valuation, which I think if I extrapolate the numbers, and I did that, it's looking at about 40 times PE, which is quite expensive. But if they can grow and surprise on the upside, because they didn't actually give a monetary guidance, I just worked it out myself. So I made some assumptions. So if they can beat my assumptions, then maybe it's going to be cheaper. So from that point of view, there is definitely growth. There's definitely strength and tailwinds behind this. So you could take this to $2 on the back of this in 4 months.
Wolf, can I ask you a question? They're giving education, right, to obviously international students, similar to IEL. How does this company differ? It's a lot smaller than IEL, obviously. How do they?
Very different from each other, Dave. One provides, I suppose, services to get the students in to Australia, like IEL, right? Getting the international students in with helping with the visas and all these sort of things. Right. These guys actually provide the courses, right? And basically, certain things for the international students to come in and study. So in an education space, but different spaces, if you know what I mean. However, there's maybe some little bit overlap in there, but very different from each other, which I like. So you're not buying one against the other. You just two companies in education space, but doing different things.
And and it's interesting because they sort of seem to basically over the last year. Obviously, this is the world opening up, isn't this year? And
yeah, that's right.
All coming back to normal.
I think one of our members said that he's, studying, at uni, and he said that's just chockers full of international students. It's just full up. So this place is actually happening.
And it's taken them a while to obviously get going, but you can see.
There's a merger between Red Hill Education and another company. So I think we're talking about it with Claude. So now it looks like it's cranking up. They got the right systems in place. This is a time to probably have a look at it.
Well, I'm just trying to have a look. Something like IEL in the early days. I mean, they can't. These sort of businesses, I know they're slightly different, but they can have a run, can't they?
When they've got the tailwinds, they can grow very strongly, right? Not just like double digits, very low double. They can go 30, 40, 50% or year on year if they have a good tailwinds behind them. And I think that's what's happening at the moment with those borders being open up. We need students, we need workers, so it's all happening for them.
Okay, I'm gonna pose to you. Would you be start nibbling at this as if you liked it long term? Would you sort of have a nibble now if it came lower, nibble more? Or
I would. Just trying to forget about, like I said, the valuation, which is, I think, for me, a little bit expensive. If I'm just looking for a longer term trade, 4 months, maybe a bit longer, then I'll probably nibble on this. Of course, you want to buy it as cheap as possible for a long-term investor out there. But like I said, they could surprise. They could have a very good year or two, and then it looks cheap, right? When you buy it at 175. And these things can go for a long run. You see the IEL chart, they've been going from $4 to $20, $30, right? So it's a possibility for them to run really strongly for a long time.
All right. Would you be interested in putting this on as a 3-year growth story?
Like I said, yes, you could, but I'd say maybe I just need to do some more work on this just to be 100% sure.
All right. Thank you. Nearly got rid of up to now. CHL. This is another company that's it's poked its little head above the water level. Ideally, with a small cap like this, I would want to see it do a little bit more. I'd want to see it swing.
Agree.
But respect, it's above the water level at least. For
travel and leisure, Dave. We've been looking at these stories that have been going very, very well, growing at 100%, right? So you got to respect that.
Yeah, of course.
Cash flow positive, you got to respect that too. So there's a lot to like about it. And, you know, in a blink of an eye, that could be trading back to 250.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
it's something you'd probably just want to see what happens.
Well, certainly it's an idea for people. We won't put this one on because, like I said, I think I want to see it do a little bit more, but let's see how it looks on the daily, actually, Wolf. Yeah, it's just lightly traded. That's the only issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, and on the daily, it's broken over. Listen, we'll leave it up to people if they want to
Well,
have a look.
how about we just wait on for Friday? Let's see what happens on Friday.
Yeah, wait till Friday. Listen, Wolf, thank you very much. You know, we've gone through the upgrade stocks of this cycle. We managed to pick out Goodman Group, JLG, HLO as trades in there.
Yeah.
So you can go back to bed.
Yeah. Thank you. Don't forget tonight. Ask the analyst. We got to do that because that's very, very important that we have a chat with everyone about the stocks that are going well or badly.
All right. Thanks, Wolfie. See you, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.